Hello everyone, and thank you for watching my 204.8 video tutorial. So in the previous lecture we have created these two scripts. First one is called Game Manager and the second is called Input Manager. By adding just a couple of lines of code into these files, we have made our game react to players' key presses. So if our player presses any of the arrow keys, there will be a message printed out in the console. And in this video we are going to create another class, so I will hit create and select a C# script, and I'm going to call this script tile style holder. So this is going to be a component that's going to hold all the information about our possible tile colors and tile numbers. So I'm going to double click on this script and Unity will open this script in MonoDevelop. So Unity has created this standard template for our script for us, so it has created these methods start and update, and in this case we won't need any of these, so I can erase them and I can type void awake. And for this class we are going to use an interesting technique that is called a singleton. A singleton is another way of communicating between our classes. If you remember, in the previous lesson in the Input Manager we were getting reference to our Game Manager by searching for it using this find object of type function, and here we're going to do something different. So I'm going to write public static, which means that we can access this variable even without having an instance of our class, and I will say tile style holder, so we're going to have this variable of the same type as this class, and I'll call it instance. And in awake I'm going to write instance equals this, where this refers to actual instance of this script. If you are new to C# and programming, this might sound a bit weird, but it's actually called, I will write it in capitals in this comment, it's actually called a singleton. So you might Google it or find it somewhere else. It is a very useful pattern when we are going to have just a single instance of our class, and we are going to have just one instance of tile style holder, because it will just remember some information for us and we don't need two separate tile style holders or any more than one of them. And another thing that I'm going to do is I can, in the same file, I can create another class that is going to be public, and I will say class, and this class will be named tile style, and I will just open these brackets, and this class is not going to derive from MonoBehavior, so we will use it just to store some information for us, and we want this class to store the following data. So we will write public int number, which will be a number of our tile. Another one is going to be public color 32, and I'm going to call it tile color and put a semicolon in the end, and this one will just store the colors of our tiles, so we can have different colors like grayish for these 2s and orange for 16s and red for 64s and 34s, and they are all actually different. So this color will store different colors of our tiles. And another one is going to be public also color 32, and this one will store our text color, because as you might have noticed, if I go to Unity and we have these different tiles, and for example 2s, they have this gray color of text, and 32, 8, 16 and all the other tiles, they have this white color. So we have to take this into account, and I will go back into our tile style holder class, and another thing that we have to add is we want to have our public tile style array, and I'm going to call this one tile styles. And basically this is it. So we are going to have an array of our tile style class objects. Each of them will hold this data that we will need, so each one of them is going to have a number, so it might say for example 32, and our tile color will be red and our text color will be white. So let's go to Unity and let's try to test it. I'm going to go to Unity, and once again we are going to have just one instance of this class, so I can attach it to our canvas. I will just go and drag it here near the Add Component button and release. But once we have attached the script to our canvas, we can see that for some reason it appears empty, but I thought that we should have all these editable fields for different tiles on our game field. And this is not happening because we haven't made our class tile style serializable, so we cannot edit it in the inspector. Everything that I have to do right now is I have to add system.serializable so that we can see the instances of this class in the inspector. And when I hit save, I will go to File and hit save. Once I enter Unity, you can see that it takes some time to load. And once everything is loaded, we can now see our tile styles array in the tile style holder. I can expand this, and we have this field that's called size, which will define the size of our array of tile styles. And I already know that to cover all the different styles that we have from 2 to 248, we will need 11 styles. But what if we have an exceptional player that will eventually get to the 4096 style? So I will design my game to take that into account, and I will set the size of this array to 12. And then we get the list of all these elements. So I will expand our first element, and there we have it. We can pick the number. So this is the first element, so I'm going to pick 2 because this is the first tile that we encounter while we play this game. And then I can pick this tile color, and I will pick this one from our game. And another very important issue is that all the colors, when they appear in the inspector, their alpha value is set to 0. So we will have to go and manually drag that to 225 because we don't want transparencies in our game. And the text color is going to be this one from the actual number 2 that we have in our game, and I'm going to once again drag the alpha. And I can collapse element 0 because we have already set all the properties that we wanted, and switch to element 1. And I will continue this routine until I have all my styles assembled and saved. So for 16 or for 8 or for 64, I can just pick the color from our sample screenshot. And if we don't have some of the colors on our screenshot, we can just make them up. So I will go and pick the color for our 2, and this will be actually an entry for a 4. And I'm going to pick this color for a 2 as a text color as well. And I'm going to set its alpha to 225, but we want the colors for our 2 tiles and 4 tiles to be a bit different, so I'm going to adjust it a little bit here in the color. And once I release, we can see that our colors for number 2 tiles and number 4 tiles will be different in our game. I have to also select this text color for a 4 and make its alpha to 225. And I will continue this routine until I will have all my tile styles set up. And this is very important because we will use all these later in our game. And another opportunity that the script provides for us is that we can easily change the color theme of the whole game. So if you want to use any other set of colors that is not even remotely close to the colors that we have in the original 248 game, so you don't want to make a full ripoff like we are doing in this course, and you want to make something original, you can play with these colors and you can experiment and invent some interesting combinations on your own. And in the next video we are going to create a script called tile that will be attached to each of our tiles, and it will be responsible for applying all these styles from our tile style holder to the actual tiles in our game. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.